Hey guys, welcome to episode 24 of the weekly. And we have everyone here on time, even though we started 4 minutes late. Yes, starting off is Mr. Juan Bagnell from Pocket Now. How's it going, man?
I've got my coffee. I'm still kind of blurry-eyed, but we're ready to do this.
All right. Next up is Mr. Warren Bowman from BW1.com.
All right, thumbs up. Let's do this.
And rounding up the crew in darkness, the one, the only, the man with the iron skin, Black Iron _man, Sam.
What's going on, guys?
What the kind of intro?
Wow.
Hello.
Yeah, I know, right?
I'm also participating on this podcast because I'm Sam.
I gave you.
I don't even say anything. So
I give you.
not saying anything.
No, I give you a rocking intro. And you're
no, the man with the iron skin. No. I am Tony Stark 2.0.
Hey everyone. Hey everyone.
All right, let's kick.
That's exactly what he did.
Do we have any uselessness of the week first of all before we start? Anything or any baby uselessnesses?
I can't think of anything right now. I'm sure something will pop up by the time we're actually through this.
If you guys have one, please put it down in the chat so we can see. So let's start off. Twitter is going on sale. Yeah. Yeah, and it looks like a bunch of companies, Salesforce, although Google is the one, Alphabet is the one that is most people are pushing on the forefront. So what do you guys think of Twitter going on sale? Save them from, demise. That's what I think. But I'll start off with you, Sam. What do you think?
Personally, I think the two companies that are currently in talks, or I think they might be in talks jointly, I'm not too sure now, to acquire Twitter. And to me, it makes sense. Twitter has proven that they haven't figured out what they're meant to do. So, someone else might as well come in and try their hand at it. They've had first movers advantage for years now against all these smaller companies out there. 140 characters actually turned out to be viable. So why aren't they valued, up there with the big boys? They've been out there long enough. And if they can't figure out how to make a company that actually, generates the kind of profits that the valuations that it should be, that the valuation determined, then they should sell. Because they obviously do not know what they want to do with it. I don't know if Google has a better idea, but it's asking someone else try.
Okay. How about you, Warren?
Well, it's about time. I think I've been saying that they're going to be for sale and disappear or whatever is going to happen to them coming up soon. I think it boils down the line of just poor leadership. They had something that was hot, and they came in at the time of when social networking was just hitting it's just in its infancy. So they came in sort of during that boom period and kind of became big off of that, but they didn't do anything off of that. They didn't know how to extend the Twitter platform beyond. Unlike some companies that have turned their social networking website to more of a social utility, Twitter is a utility in just one thing, and that's just basically real-time communication between people. And unfortunately, they've not expanded past that. Now, I think among who's buying them, I think anyone that's going to buy them right now, they're probably not going to make drastic changes to them immediately. It's something that they're looking more so for the data that they collect and the things that they have in the back end that they'll probably look to piggy off of. And that's why Google is probably in the forefront for that, because they probably want that data the most out of anyone else. Salesforce would just want it to just get themselves into this type of game, and they would definitely find a way to push it more for some business-like features, because that's really where their thing is focused on enterprise. And then you have Verizon, who just wants media companies right now, so that makes sense why they're into that whole thing. And Microsoft just wants to have some type of social network that somebody gives a damn about. So
they own LinkedIn, so I guess that will add to their portfolio.
That doesn't count.
Yeah.
That doesn't count. That doesn't count. That just happened to be there. But at the end of the day, Twitter had poor leadership, and they never could get in the proper direction to be a more viable, more successful place. And right now, I think the sale is the best thing for them.
All right, Mr. Juan Bagnell, what do you think?
Yeah, Warren nailed it. I mean, if Google is shopping a service like Twitter, it's because they want that info, and it's okay if it's another sort of loss leader for the company. Uh, Twitter really did kind of become the poster child for that era of the internet where you can't just make something cool, put it out for free, and then somehow later on figure out how to monetize. Twitter is a shining example for other companies to think, well, I've got this cool idea. Either I want to get bought out by another company, or I have to have some method of monetization in the minds of the users early on, very, very early on in the process of exposing people to this cool idea. And it's really sad to think that a service which has caught on and has become so popular, is so immediate, is so present, never did figure out their method of monetizing, and especially once we see, like, I caught what was last night's, there was a football game on, and like I had it up on
Thursday
Twitter.
Night Football on Twitter.
Thursday night, sorry, I mean, like, my brain is scrambled right now for time.
That's right. 27 zip, go Patriots.
Yeah,
but I mean, I had it up on Twitter. I mean, I was sitting here writing because I'm this damn iPhone 7 review, but I had my Microsoft Word up and Twitter up, and I'm watching a football game, and tweets are happening in real time. I mean, like, that worked really well. We talked about this on a previous episode of the show, and if you were going to go to any online media outlet to start streaming content like that, Twitter is actually a really appropriate place to do it. Still, they can't figure out how to get money for this thing that actually pays off all of this crazy investment that's gone into it. So if Google were to buy it out, as much as I'm starting to have a little about Alphabet not being quite the savior of the internet that it should be, I think it makes the most sense for Twitter to end up with Google. Otherwise, we're looking at some sort of weird Skype tie-in with Microsoft, and I don't know that really helps anyone right now.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. I think Google, I think, is the one who's leading the forefront in this, and it will be interesting to see how it all plays out with Twitter. The NFL thing is great, except they don't even advertise it as well on Twitter. It's something where,
again, it's like
it's something
thing
where
we're not going to tell you about.
Once Thursday comes, you go on Twitter, it should be right there on top. Should be telling you can watch a game, just click here. I had to type in NFL live stream just for me to find it, because I know where it is, but I mean, you're not telling anyone. So, like, to Warren's point, leadership and getting things structured is just not there. Maybe someone like Google, or so Alphabet can help, even though we know Alphabet likes to create things and then destroy it, and do half-baked stuff like Allo. Let's switch to Allo.
Let's put it this way: you actually described more Microsoft than you actually described Google. At least Google, for the most part, at least assimilates their things, and you see it appear somewhere within their software. Microsoft buys a company, says they're going to claim they're going to do something with it, destroy it, sell it off, and then write it off $1 billion later.
Only one company has done that. Let's be frank. Only one. I'm talking about products. Google. Every time Google creates,
did that with Danger. They did that with a few other companies too. Microsoft's done that.
Oh no.
Like the last few.
No, Microsoft is so effective at it that you don't know the names of the companies that they've bought up. And
they've done this a few times.
No, but moving on to Allo. Quickly, thoughts on Allo before we go to our next topic. I'm sure we've all used Allo here, so I'm just going to do like kind of like a rapid fire. Start off with you, Juan. What do you think about Allo? Will it stay, and are you still using it?
It's like Duo. It was fun to fire up. It's really slick. It's very clean, and I don't think I'm going to be able to convince any of my family or friends to use it.
Bam. Okay. Sam.
WhatsApp clone that doesn't do quite as much as WhatsApp does.
Okay. And Warren.
Some energy, Sam. Any type of energy at all, Sam?
Poor Sam.
Go back to the Avengers power. As far as Allo is concerned, it's them trying to make a WeChat without the WeChat features, and it ends up looking like WhatsApp. So it's gonna be around. They'll keep developing this because that's what they're trying to get towards. I don't know if anybody's ever actually going to catch on to this, where I think things like my message is probably caught up and probably going to surpass them, and Facebook messaging has been long going into this, and they're just one more probably major update from doubling down on being the WeChat of the United States.
They won't get there. No one's going to use this thing, and also the fact that you know, kind of like to Snowden's point of not using Allo, you know, the fact that they want to do everything for you in that app just again shows with all data mining that, you know, Google likes to do. That's really what they're focusing on. It's not even giving you a product. It's basically using you as a product. So there we go. Anyway, moving on to
Sorry, just to touch on that point. I mean, I guess I don't understand the angst in how deep many of us are in the Android and Google ecosystem that we haven't figured that out by now.
Oh no, I know. I'm
You know what I
I'm
mean?
just
So
saying that as a side comment.
It's like whenever I'm critical of the iPhone and people are out there like, and can you believe it? It's like they're just trying to make money off of people. And you're like, well, that's like the whole reason why a corporation exists.
Yeah.
Apple is not your friend.
I don't know why people
Google is not your friend.
pissy about that stuff. Is like, how do you think these products come to exist?
Right.
They've been doing this data mining long before.
A quick one here is from Kartek. He says, will Allo beat WhatsApp? Never.
No, I seriously doubt. Well, if it does, it's going to take a long time. And what do we know about Google is that they tend to not position products and keep supporting products that don't
For a
win
long game.
For a long game. So
Yeah.
I don't know that they have the fortitude to stick in the space, especially against sort of the renewed interest in Facebook Messenger. Even Facebook Messenger is building steam, and
Well, it's been doing the things that this thing's trying to do outside of Google Assistant, but the things you've been able to do is been able to pay friends, been able to communicate, been able to do all these, you know, app packs and sticker packs and all this other stuff. That's all been in Facebook Messenger. They are so far ahead of iMessage and Google with this stuff that they're trying to catch up, because Facebook probably went over to China and said, oh, look at WeChat. Yeah, we want to try and be that. We want to try and be that, and that's where they're all going. So if you think Google and Allo might not be successful, but Allo could be one big beta for them to sit there and eventually integrate this into their other messaging platforms that do work out well, and they'll try to figure out a way to implement these things in. They are absolutely Apple, Microsoft, I don't know what the hell they're doing, but Apple, Facebook, all these messaging applications are all trying to make that play of trying to be the WeChat of the Western hemisphere, so to speak. And
no, just finish up.
And while one might fail, they're just going to keep going on. This to me is just one big demo of beta for them to use it. They'll get what the information you need, they'll close it and integrate it into something else.
All right, so moving on to what Microsoft is actually doing. They're going to be doing a buyback, $40 billion stock. So I'm going to start off with our resident financial expert, the man with the iron suits.
Expert.
Yes, I'm talking about the man on Wall Street who has the pulse, Mr. Black Iron Man. Go ahead.
It's a buyback. It's a buyback.
Yeah. So how do you think this will affect?
It's interesting to see. It's interesting to see how exactly what's they're trying to do here. Because the problem is, it's not. This is nothing new. Everyone does it. Apple did theirs recently. It's just that analysts thought the trend was actually slowing, and all of a sudden, Microsoft is buying what, close to $1 billion, or is it 10 billion?
It's not 10, but I think it's 40 billion.
Oh yeah, sorry, 40 billion worth of stocks,
which is the size of many companies.
Yeah. So the thing is, the only reason someone would do this is if they're trying to, keep control of their company, and keep the value of their company up. So if they're trying to keep the value of their company up without having, so many hands or so many shareholder interests in it, chances are they're probably going to be making a huge pivot. That's what I'm thinking. They might be planning to make a huge pivot, and they want those number of controlling shares in their hands so that their the value on Wall Street doesn't fluctuate so much. But it's still normal. I think it's just Microsoft has the war chest to do this kind of buyback, and to it, it's probably not a big deal. So I think analysts are making a lot more about it. of it than it actually is. It's just a regular old financial maneuver that most companies have actually been doing for the past how many months this year. I think several companies have done that.
Now to your point, my concern is not the buyback, which, like you said, is normal, but my concern is the pivots. And we've kind of talked about how Microsoft has been cutting up stuff. We're hearing rumors things are not coming anymore. And with this information that, you're doing a buyback, what is that pivot? Like, where is this company going? I know, Warren, you're about to say something. Sorry, I just wanted to interject there.
I think it's something serious in terms of there might be a split of business that might be happening for them, that they might separate the consumer and their business company products and ventures into two different companies, two different companies in some sort of way to maybe put up a better focus. That could be one big reason why this is sort of happening. They might want to spin off all that server level and all those cloud and all those things into one business that they run that doesn't have to concern itself with consumer-facing items, while they have a company that focuses on minimal but heavily focused on consumer-based products. That could be one thing that they could be doing. But like I said, Sam, these are normal.
I would normally agree with that, except for the fact that when it comes to consumer products, they're reducing investment on that.
But
so to say you're going to reduce investment in consumer and then do a spin-off of it, then what are you really spinning off?
Well, they could spin themselves off and try to make themselves into a pseudo startup, which is what a lot of these other businesses have been doing. I don't know why they would do that.
The new trend is in what's it called? They have this newfangled way for it, and it's now called almost like research centers or investment centers or whatever, tiny little pockets, and companies own multiple of those. You don't need a spin-off to open up one of those.
Yeah, but this is also Microsoft we're talking about. So I don't know how they're intelligent about that.
I think Microsoft has to be intelligent about that, right? Remember, I've been saying Nadella. Nadella is the one that worries me, right? I'm thinking Nadella is going to do something bold, something like Microsoft is getting its hands 100% out of hardware. That would definitely hit the market. And if that hit the market, then we have an issue. Then you need to control the story. Then you need to have a little bit stronger control on your company. And I think he's about to do something totally bullshit crazy. And that's what it's coming. Just from a Nadella standpoint, because I don't trust him not to do something.
I don't know how that would work with their Xbox division. And if they actually try to split that off to its own company, they'll piss so many people off with that. That would be a really bad idea.
Juan, you want to jump into the fray here?
Well, I mean, actually, you guys have been kind of summing up as well as I can talk about a stock buyback. I'm not really that up to date on this stuff.
But the pivot,
actually, the notion of Microsoft leaving hardware, I do think has a little merit. I mean, I wouldn't put it past Microsoft to pull a move which everyone on the outside would say that's shooting yourself in the foot, but all of the analysts and the business people have been saying would be a good idea for a while now. I don't know. I think when Nadella is looking at what's working and what's not, and we know that he's a server guy, we know that he's an infrastructure guy, and we know that he's really into sort of these business and corporate grade solutions, that could be Microsoft, and then Xbox could be something else. And whether or not we see a restructuring like what Google did with Alphabet, something like that is also entirely possible too. But I don't know. I just don't have as much faith that they would execute this as well, because I don't know that we've ever really seen them fully execute what this sort of leaner Microsoft could do after the major restructuring that they did. It seems like they changed a whole bunch of stuff, and before that stuff was done changing, then they said, well, but phones aren't working, so let's get rid of them. And you're like, well, it took you 2 years to just incorporate the Nokia team into your fold, to then get another year for a device to come out, and then it didn't instantly sell like hotcakes with some of the shittiest first release phone software we've ever seen. You think you might want to give it a minute to see if you can do better for a Gen 2? No? Okay. All right. We'll just cut that division then.
I think that got caused a lot by the CEO switch.
Well, yeah, but
I think that had a lot to do with it.
you know, to work that aggressively. I mean, like, it reminds me a lot of when we went through those flip switch decisions. Who was it? Leo Apotheker over at HP.
Oh,
he was like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna sell off all the hardware and just be a software and business solutions company." And then, like a minute later, they were like, "Nope." But along the same time, they were like, "Let's try a Palm Pilot." Oh, that didn't work in the first weekend. Let's kill it. You know, like that kind of stuff doesn't fly. And so to the points about people being upset about that, I think really what it showcases is an inconsistency. You know, people are going to be hesitant to throw their money at a company where they don't have an expectation that company's still going to be in that space in the next year. Even just changing the name from Microsoft to something else like the Xbox makes that feel a little less of a solid investment for people moving forward.
Yeah, it's definitely true. And even though I don't have this on the topic list, as we're talking about how Microsoft may be leaving, and then we hear Apple, Google making their own home Alexa type speakers, right? We know those are coming, and Microsoft has no offering. We know that Allo is here to stay, and Google has done its push. iMessages got that update. Facebook Messages got those update. Microsoft what? This is software now, by the way. Software, nothing. We know it's in Skype, but you haven't done a push. You haven't done anything. So even in the part where they are a software company, that aspect too, they're not doing too well. So, I mean, to your point, it looks like it's, random decisions of just shoot here, maybe it sticks, type of thing.
Well, it's everything that we've been saying in this podcast too, is that you need to give these moves time. That's the one thing that no one in this industry wants to do, is like, you need to give it a couple years to see if a move like that works.
Mm-hmm. Sam?
What worries me about this real decision is that there really is, I think everything that you're describing with Alexa and, and Siri and whatever, Microsoft is in that game. Microsoft has Cortana. That's the AI battle. Right?
Yeah.
But it's Internet things, though.
So if you're having this new AI battle out there for who's going to capture your smart device at the end of the day, like who's going to curate your day, then I think Microsoft has a big player, Cortana. But however, the problem is, like you're stating out, all the other solutions have a software and a hardware side.
Yeah.
Microsoft is cutting back on its hardware side. Yeah, they're making investments on the software side, but how are people going to get that software? How are people going to access your beautiful newfangled AI if they don't have a phone to talk into? If they don't have an Alexa or Echo?
Those little details.
No, but
we'll make a really cool AI. People will use it.
Yeah, it's very true.
We'll keep it on the what? AI control the interwebs. But
it's so true. I mean, look at Google coming out with routers. Yeah, we know it's made by other people. It is made by ASUS. It is made by one of the other company, but it's still a Google product. I mean, if Microsoft wants to get out of the hardware business, they can, and go the Google route and say, we have all these OEMs, right? We have these guys for years. They can be building these things for us. Cortana can be integrated into every Lenovo device, every Dell device. Doesn't matter what you make, you push it in there. Partner up with Samsung again, throw Cortana into a Samsung TV, for crying out loud. Those are the kind of things you want to do, but then again, we keep giving these people advice. Let's stop. Move to the next topic. Moto M. I'm tired. Seriously.
Well, Moto M, doesn't this just look like a Lenovo? I mean, it doesn't look like anything we've seen from Motorola.
Yeah, it kind of does. Let me share the image here for you guys so everyone can see. This is the Moto M here. Our first rendered leaks. Very Lenovo-esque in a sense. Although it kind of front-facing does look like a Moto G to a little bit, though. The back
a little bit, yeah. But the whole back of it looks like what Lenovo was doing with that. I mean, again, sort of that Axon HTC style rounded back thing. I don't know. I don't believe that this phone really does seem to be marketed towards Western audiences.
No, it's 32 gigabytes of internal storage, 4 gigs of RAM. It's running the MediaTek processor and 1080p display, so definitely not here. But what I'm just concerned is, Motorola's has now gone into this fray of relettering the devices. You know, we were good with the X and the G. Now the X is gone, the Z is back, the M is in, the G is there. There's a G4 play. There's a play series in between all these things. It seems like they are now overexpanded when they had a very simple structure in terms of like, you know, devices. Any thoughts, guys? Sam and Warren.
It's kind of interesting. I'm actually looking to see if I can find the lettering, or not the lettering, but the actual logo on their previous phones, because this is what Lenovo did when they got IBM. And the ThinkPad kept on shrinking until eventually it went away. It was a logo, and then the logo became a Lenovo, right? And then became Lenovo.
Oh, no, the ThinkPad is back now. Though.
No, ThinkPad is still on.
It's still there. It's still there.
No, it's still on there. But I'm saying the lettering for it got smaller as the Lenovo got bigger. Mm-hmm. So at the end of the day, I'm looking here and I see Moto. I don't see Motorola anywhere, and I see the logo.
Yeah, I mean, you know, they're trying
to. Something Motorola was doing was devaluing the full Motorola name for Moto X, Moto X2, the Moto X Pure Edition. Yeah. I don't think that's a trend that is entirely Lenovo obfuscating the team behind that phone. I think that it might already sort of trying to create a more consumer-friendly brand. And Hello Moto just sounded so much fun that they went with that.
Okay. Yeah, true. All right, let's move on to Google. Google has an event October 4th for the Pixel.
No, it says Moto. Sorry.
Yeah, for the Pixel, yes. And there's a lot of advertising for the Pixel. There's a TV ad. There's also ads in New York. Have you guys seen that? I know, Juan, you have, but Warren, Sam, have you seen any of the Pixel advertising?
No.
Okay. Because it's really good.
Yeah, it's
maybe the
I've
best
really been excited
phone commercial I think I've ever seen.
I'm excited to see a medium grade phone that costs $600 and something. I'm so excited about it.
It's
we're so excited.
Well, in terms of advertising, I know we had talked about this on the Pocket Now podcast. They have ads in New York, which I still haven't seen those ones, but I've seen their TV ad and it's disgustingly bad because they're introducing it as Pixel. They have this big G. I stated there they should just call it the G phone and be done if they didn't want to use Nexus anymore, because Pixel to me will remind people of a Disney movie, number one. Not that it's a Disney movie, but people would think of a Disney movie in the first place. Number two, there's no attachment to Google product with that. And it just makes no sense. But Juan, can you
the Pixel C.
Get out.
We've talked about this too, is that you have to re-explain what Pixel is. You know what I mean? And you're going to end up calling it a Google phone anyway. What is this? Well, it's the Pixel. What's a Pixel? It's the Google phone. It's the Pixel phone. You have a Pixel tablet, a Pixel Chromebook, and then a Pixel phone. So you still have to, it's not like iPad. What is it? It's a pad. iPhone. What is it? It's a phone. It's in the name of the product, what it is.
The strategy of Microsoft with the Surface, remember, the Surface was that giant table.
It was a Surface.
Yes,
an actual Surface.
But Microsoft there did a good job in switching things over.
Well, did they? It took 3 years before anyone would really.
No, I'll say
they still had to re-educate everybody. Well, John Redinger was on board at the end of Surface 2, but consumers in general weren't really taking it seriously until we saw Surface 3.
Yeah, true. I definitely agree. We do know the device will be IP53 rating. So what do you think about that? Considering the price point we're hearing, it's going to be priced like almost like an iPhone 7, almost like a Galaxy Note. And it's IP53, not IP67 or 68.
Here's actually where I want to give a kudos in the same way that I gave kudos to the HTC 10. It's that they're actually telling people what their ingress protection rating is. There's so many manufacturers out there who are like, well, it's kind of splash resistant. No, tell me you've tested it. Just tell me what I should be able to expect. And so, the HTC 10 is not submergible. It's IP55.
55, yeah.
But I have an expectation of what kind of protection do I need to provide for my phone in the conditions I might want to use my phone. If I want a phone that's IP67 or IP68, I can go out and buy one. But if I want to buy this phone, I know what I need to do to protect it for inclement weather or for situations where I might drop it and it might be completely submerged underwater. That to me is, I think, the big kudos here, is too many companies won't really tell me what their phone is rated for. Now, for the price, IP53, that's not great. But I don't know. I mean, it's tough to judge when so many other phones aren't telling me what their rating is. Because, like, I can't believe for a second a phone like the LG G5 is rated any better. Not with those battery gaps.
Sam.
I think Juan has said it quite well. It's good to know. I guess that's a positive way of looking at it. It is good to know. At the end of the day, you know, the Pixel is going to be one of those devices to get released, and people look at it and say, "What am I getting for this price that I can't get anywhere else?" And the answer is going to be nothing. But what it is it's a necessary change from a Google perspective. They've broken up their company to be Alphabet, whatever, and now they have Google still doing these. They have Android or Google, whoever's doing the hardware these days, and it's all, they don't know if it's software or if they're doing hardware or whatever. Create a Pixel line, mature the Pixel line, spin off the Pixel line. They're doing I think they're doing it the right way, but the device is not as compelling. That's simply what it is.
Yeah. Warren.
It took these fools about a good 5 phones before the brand Nexus actually caught on with the general public. You know, we're just going to change it and call it a Pixel. The hell is a damn Pixel? And then
I don't know that Nexus ever really caught on with the general public to any great degree, though.
It caught on a lot better than this Pixel.
Well, they're starting from scratch, right? And you have to explain what a Pixel is. But again, I think the Nexus had a perception.
But you can still typically say Nexus, and people kind of got, oh, that's the phone by Google. That's the Google phone. That you don't have to say Google phone at the end of saying a Nexus. Oh, I have a Nexus. Oh, I know what that is. I've had people have come up to me and said, hey, you know, when's the next Nexus coming out? So I know people have been aware of it. I think it's been more stated when they started aware of it since probably when they owned Motorola and they put the Motorola Nexus 6 out, and then the 6P came out, and those became probably their best reviewed versions of the Nexus phones, and that kind of got more people interested into it. But to go and just switch your branding off and to say, hey, we're just going to call these things Pixels, and put out some mediocre specs to combat with. We don't know confirmed or not, but we're looking at this here. It looks like they want you to spend $700 for some mid-range phone. Is not going to bode well for them. I'm not sure what their thinking is or how they think this is going to work, but they may need to realize that this is not going to work. Abort the mission and go something different.
well, you know, the reason the phone is called Pixel, because it's going to have a 4K display, and you can see those pixels really sharp and crisp.
They're a damn lie.
I just made that up.
That's a damn lie.
It would be really bad if you could see the pixels.
I know.
Pixel, so.
Yeah, that would mean the pixels were very big pixels.
Oh yeah, man. You know, combine all the pixels together, you have giant pixels on you.
You have 100 pixels on that screen.
It looks like also Google is going to release another Wi-Fi router at this October event. So at least it seems October event is going to be the Pixel devices. We're going to see a new router. We're going to see a new Chromecast Ultra to do 4K most likely, because I think Chromecast doesn't do 4K, right?
I don't believe so. No.
Well, no. I think the second one does. I think the second Chromecast does do that.
Because I have the second one and I don't think it's doing.
I think it does.
Okay.
All right, let's please.
It might be limited to YouTube, but in Netflix or something like that. But I actually think
I don't think Netflix. I think it might just be YouTube. But who knows? Anyway, if you can check that. But there will be an Ultra, so maybe. But also that will also have to do for HDR, because you need specific hardware for that. So most likely that's another change there. But so I was just going to ask as a general question, because a Wi-Fi router is not something we care about too much. But what do you think about how Google will make all these announcements and push these devices? Because we know their best-selling device is a Chromecast. Let's just call it what it is. That's the device that sells really well. So how do you think?
$20?
Yeah. So how do you think they're going to position some of these things and push it out there? I'll start off with you, Warren.
It'll be interesting. I think they'll the Chromecast. I think they'll highlight and they'll spend a lot more time on that because that's their best-selling device. So they'll probably push that Chromecast.
Oh yeah, and Chromecast speaker also is coming out
and the
too.
Speaker, they'll probably push those quite a bit.
Oh boy! Oh, please tell me it's not circular.
Yeah, you know
it's circular-ish. It looks like one of those things that vents out
all over
aroma.
Again. All over again.
No. It's not like that. It looks like the aroma thingy that you have on the table.
It looks like an air freshener.
Yes. It goes.
That you buy for $1. So it looks like
That's
that.
the big one. Yeah, but continue, Warren. Sorry.
I see them putting a lot of focus on that on Hub as well, to whatever they're going to be calling it. That'll be focused on it. I think they'll go over the Pixel phones. They'll push what they need to talk about with that, and they'll spend a little bit of time. But I think they will probably expect a lot of groans in the beginning with that. But they might try to push that, and then maybe talk a little more about Project 5 with it or something like that as well too. Maybe spend a little bit of time talking about the Pixel UI and sort of how they've redesigned the interface a little bit with that. But I think out of all that, they're going to highlight their in-home products a whole hell of a lot more, and there happens to be 2 phones just sitting over there that if you decide you want to get those, okay, you can look over here, but we want you to get this stuff.
Okay. Sam, thoughts?
I'm actually more interested in the announcements for, I guess, the router, because of those the way the extenders are going to work. It's basically going to have multiple, almost like a modular kind of home network system that combines all these different networks into one. So it would be very interesting. And it's supposed to go through the OnHub. So if that's happening, then I guess OnHub is definitely going to be a big player going forward for Google. And they're going to be taking home automation plus connectivity a lot more seriously. But to me, it's still, why not just do the same thing you were doing for the Nexus, get like other manufacturers, and then you put your software on there, like an extension of Android or whatever. But apparently they want to go about it this way. It'll be interesting to see exactly how it.
Yeah, well, because you can, you can control the people with your app. Just say.
You can control the people with your app. Google now doing brain implants.
Juan, how about you? Sorry.
I mean, it's just tough to be excited about a Wi-Fi router until we can see what's really going to come, because right now we're just sort of speculating as to what Google might be trying to do. But if Google can deliver a consumer-facing solution for extending Wi-Fi signals, as opposed to just the way that we've been doing it with these sort of wireless range extenders which kill your bandwidth, that could be kind of cool. I mean, that would be a benefit that you could communicate to people, and like, this is why you want to go with this product. Otherwise, like, I don't know.
I mean, when I'm looking at what this is similar to the Arrow, I mean, this is taking a business grade solution of access points and kind of throwing it into the home. It's not something terribly new, but they're essentially just trying to make it a little bit easier for people to do these things, especially if you have the home, if you have a large space that you need to work with. But we'll see. They no more buffering, no more dead zones and things like that they're talking about with the similar technology. It's like, we'll see about that, because that is a factor in locations and geography very much so. But
okay.
We'll see. I'm interested in that from the perspective I understand what the hell it's doing, and I just want to see how they're going to spin and advertise this thing, and then tell me how it's actually going to work, and then how am I going to prove it doesn't. So,
well, I think the spin is, because I have a OnHub router here, and I've used it. I'll have a video for you guys soon. But the app itself is really nice and clean.
Yeah.
Now, the only other person who has a better application, which is more website though, is Synology.
Yeah. Oh god, they're way better.
Synology's router app is ridiculous. It's fan. I mean, they need to sell that to everyone and say, stop making.
Never going to. That's the problem.
I know. We asked them. They're like, not really. I was like, really, people?
Yeah. But we'll see how it goes. My problem with some of these devices is that they only focus on Wi-Fi and not the fact that people plug in things, so you don't give enough.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Parts, and it's just like if I don't see at least 4 gigabit ports on any router, I immediately dismiss it as anything of importance. So when they brought out the On Hub, and I'm like, and I saw it, and I looked at the specs, and no techie's going to bother with this. They won't recommend it. They won't touch it because it does not have the basics that a router should have.
It's been all 4 on mine. So.
Oh yeah, I had to jump on, and especially the Xbox One S, I had to use because for some reason it feels like it's a little slower than regular Xbox to download wirelessly. So, whew, man, yeah, you need those ports. Anyway, let's move on to a company who, for some reason, has lost favor this year, so to speak. They started off a little strong with the 10. They were making the Nexus phone, now the Pixel. From the designs of the Pixel, no one's happy, and it's not their fault, but some people are blaming them. And there's this leaked video of the HTC Ocean, which is a conceptual phone design, all that stuff. So just thoughts on the Ocean. Do you think they should build off that for their next device? And I'll start off with you, Juan.
I mean, what are they building off of? It looks like the Ocean is being built off of the HTC 10, and that one of the major differences is they're also looking to get rid of the headphone jack. So if that's what companies think progress looks like, then no, I disagree.
Well said in a slightly cracky voice. Your audio was breaking up there a little bit.
I don't know what's going on. I mean, like, on my end, I sound great.
The audio guy.
Yeah, it's like
I know. I mean, this happened to us during. I mean, if you got the train wreck, which was the Pocket Now podcast this week. Yeah, I mean, like, nothing is on my end affecting audio quality, so I have no idea what.
Let's just blame it on Time Warner. Let's blame it on Time Warner.
Yeah, we should just blame it on somebody.
At this point, I'd happy to. Yeah.
Sam, what do you think? Have you seen the video?
Well, nobody's on.
Yeah,
right
it's
here.
actually pretty cool. It's actually a pretty cool video. I'm looking at it. I'm like, why hasn't anyone done anything like that for the buttons? You know, removing the buttons on the side and having it all be touch and whatnot. I'm like, that's pretty cool. But then you think about it, it's HTC. They'll probably screw it up somehow. So.
Well, damn.
But it should be worth saying that this was not pulled off of a HTC main site or whatever, but this was pulled off of a designer's site. So I think this is Danelle, I don't know what her last name is, starts with a V. She does a lot of conceptual art for HTC, and HTC has some of them are real, some of them actually are products. I think she did the 10, and she did probably the 9 as well. So yes, she does do work for HTC, but this was just a concept off of her site. So it could be something that HTC put out there when they heard, or probably commissioned her to do when they heard, hey, Apple is doing a device without a headphone jack. Let's see what one of ours would look like. You know, put something together that's really cool. So you never know if that's the case. But
yeah, you know what's sad with removing the headphone jack? I can guarantee you at some points, some companies will decide to put 2 USB Type-C ports on the phone and say you can now listen and charge. There will be somebody who will do that dumbness and tell me that's what I'm supposed to do. But Warren, Ocean.
Ocean's one.
This isn't an accidental week. This is getting a feel for what they want to do for the next HTC 11. That's what this is. They said, we'll just put this Ocean, we'll put this little thing out here and see what happens. Ooh, we must have leaked it. Sorry. Bull. This didn't get leaked. This was absolutely testing waters to see what they can do for the next flagship phone. Because we're getting into the period where, it's 6 months out before they probably announce the next flagship from them. So,
something like that, yeah.
So they're getting the feel here. And from what I looked at, I said, the Ocean actually looks like a pretty nice looking phone. If they can get everything in that video to work the way they say it does and include a damn headphone jack, they might have them winner. Like, that actually looked good.
If that's the way Sense is going to look, that was pretty awesome.
Yeah,
you got to call the whole screen is basically the contact photo or whatever.
Cool. It looks pretty good. They stick on that damn chin on the bottom of it. They love that crap, and they've been loving that since the G1. Come on, but like overall, and they got those damn antenna bands looking like an iPhone or iPhone looking like an HTC, whichever one you want to call who copied who first.
It's Sense Touch, man. It's Sense Touch.
That is, I hope they name it that, because it'd be a lot better than the names they've been putting through with it. But it looks good. It actually looks good. I think some UI tweaks need to happen, but the phone itself, if it came out looking like that, it looks like it's got some triple speaker thing going on the top of it there. Maybe that's their new version. Maybe that's their new way of doing boom sound. I don't know, whatever it is. If they do a whole bunch of audio stuff, it'll make some gadget guy all happy, and we'll see how it goes. So I you know, like I would love to see them take on content creation. Even you know LG's doing that. I feel like HTC could do something like that and probably design it better. Like they could probably actually design that type of that a V20 version of their own phone probably better. And I'd like to see them point
and probably build it a lot better too, because these guys know how to build stuff.
And they'll have they're an audio, they're audio fiends as it is anyway. So I'd imagine they could put something like a quad DAC with 32-bit audio and being able to record in hi-fi and take it to another level. I'd love to, if this, maybe the Ocean's maybe that type of phone, but I'm actually intrigued that this is out because this actually looks good.
All right, so we all like it. Just put a headphone jack, HTC, and hopefully it works out for you. Make it water resistant too.
Well, the thing I'll give Android moving to this space of going to USB-C headphones is at least those products will be widely more compatible with other devices. Yeah. Like I think USB-C would be a better standard to move to if we have to entertain this exercise of somehow the 3.5 millimeter jack being too old. I mean, even
I'm going to light up the wall on fire if that happens.
Well, but I mean,
light it up.
Even for Apple users, if you had an Android phone with the USB-C port and you invested in some nice USB-C headphones, you'd still be able to use that with your MacBook. That's the kind of thing that drives me nuts about Lightning is that Lightning is only for iPhones and iPads. They do not have a way to use your earpods on a MacBook right now, whereas a USB-C headphone, which I don't know, I mean, JBL is, I think, the only company that publicly put out some right now, right?
Yeah, JBL's in
there. Yeah, JBL.
If we move to USB-C as some kind of audio standard, everything is going to have a Thunderbolt 3 or a USB-C port on it moving forward. So your investment is a lot safer there.
This might be finally how we get away from the multiple cables when hooking up PC. Because I remember, I think it was Lightning was supposed to do that.
No, Firewire.
Firewire. Oh no, Thunderbolt was supposed to do that.
Exactly, Thunderbolt.
Well, Thunderbolt 3 can do it now.
Well, they forgot one thing about Thunderbolt. Nobody gave a damn.
Exactly.
So USB is just good enough to do everything.
Yeah, Thunderbolt 3 it can do it now because it shares the same spec housing as USB-C, so you can just plug it in. And
yeah, the only thing that's going to be a little confusing about that is that for like the MacBook has USB-C, but it's USB 3.1.
Yeah,
like my Razer has Thunderbolt. So anything that's sort of Thunderbolt is going to be great, but it's going to be confusing for consumers when I've got this plug, but when I plug something into it, it doesn't work.
Yeah, you need. I think come USB-C 2 or Thunderbolt 4, they need to just merge it as one.
Well, I think that eventually will be the plan. That Thunderbolt will turn into USB-C essentially, totally. Because even my laptop has a USB-C port on it. So I mean, I think the manufacturers have kind of made that decision, especially if it shows up on laptops. Because I don't remember how often I'll see a Thunderbolt port on a laptop, but the fact that I see USB Type-C on a laptop this fast tells me that they've already kind of made that decision.
Yeah. So I think USB is really going to be relegated to the slave side of the equation, and most of the host devices are going to have some form of Thunderbolt.
Both, yeah. Quickly, just to touch on AT&T's 5G multi-gigabyte broadband over power lines. Did you guys see that news this week?
Yeah, we posted up on it.
I did not. You guys talk about it. I'll look it up.
Warren, can you kick it off? Because I know you shared some of this.
So basically, what AT&T has kind of figured out is how to use power lines, what we are current power infrastructure to distribute 5G Ethernet, gigabit speed Ethernet to multiple areas without the need of having to rebuild an entire infrastructure. So they can just add a box, and these boxes can kind of connect and link with each other, and you can now basically reach gigabit internet into urban areas that don't necessarily have high-speed internet, and into very rural areas that don't have access to any broadband, and now you can give them access to that without having to build a really expensive infrastructure and have to get all the permits and stuff to be able to build it. You just add a box onto something, and it just kind of rolls out. And this is something probably now they can do on their own power line tip, but you can probably add to their own towers as well too, to be able to amplify a signal to get gigabit speed in the home. It's actually a really big thing for them to be able to get this accomplished and be able to field test this in 2017, because this could really mean that we get a lot more people online, not just with basic internet, but with solid, good speeds.
Yeah. I mean, the thing about the Internet over power lines, it's not new. It's been out for a while.
Yeah.
Speeds just haven't been up there. I know, I think Ireland does it. And this was like a while back when I was looking at it. And I was like, we need to have this in the US.
No, we used to have something similar in the US, but it was more on the routing side where you could route through power.
Yeah, you can route through power lines in the home using a power line adapter. It doesn't have the most consistent speeds out there, but it can essentially, you can plug into one wall and plug it into another and reach out. And
I was using that for a while because my network in my old apartment was, man.
I had a roommate at my old house. I actually had to set one up for him like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was having this conversation earlier today with some of the guys at AT&T when I went into switch back to AT&T.
He left T-Mobile. Bam.
3 weeks. 3 weeks. That's all it took. I
didn't know he was on T-Mobile.
Exactly. I left from AT&T to T-Mobile in 3 weeks. I was back in AT&T. That's just simply how it is. I love you, AT&T.
Okay. Wow. This podcast is not sponsored by AT&T.
True. Not sponsored by AT&T. However, AT&T, if you want to sponsor this podcast, you know where to call. You have our names. So basically, we're having this conversation about, basically service providers or carriers and, their media audience, right? Because the guy was pushing Direct TV at me. I'm like, dude, I'm not going to get Direct TV, even though the Direct TV remote comes on the AT&T devices now. And we're talking about how Verizon made a really, really good play with getting AOL, because that's a lot of online content there, Verizon can push in its network. I'm like, yeah, so DirecTV wasn't that smart a buy. And then looking at this now, I go, oh, it might be easier to push video into the home if you can actually, bypass the whole need to build new infrastructure. So I think AT&T has made a huge play here. This is not just going to be internet. This is everything that comes with internet. This is basically the Direct TV app that you're pushing on your phones. That's probably going to get pushed on your TVs and whatever. This is their entry into your home.
Oh,
no longer Uverse or just your phone, but
definitely.
Into your home in general.
If you think about it, right? DirecTV as a cable service, satellite service, is something that even if it was the only option, it's not something people want, because you have all the thoughts of, Dish, and if it's raining, all that kind of stuff, right?
Well, but man, we got to remember, satellite TV was a rural option. That's for places that could not get a cable service into the area. That's where usually you saw satellite happen.
Yeah, I know, true, but it's DirecTV is everywhere anyway. But I mean, in terms of just service outreach. So the fact that now you can push it with an app to your TV, they're going to launch that app, I think, at the end of the year or beginning of next year. Same thing with Comcast is doing the same thing, and then you now have your way to provide customers with internet service. You can now push that. That's a nice package deal of saying, hey, look, we can now give you, you're suffering with speeds with Time Warner. It's terrible, I know. But now we can come in. We don't have to do much. We can come in and give you, 5G speeds at home. And then also you can bundle that with this app that gives you cable. Done. And I think those are the kind of things that AT&T is trying to do, because as we know, all these companies are becoming media companies. Verizon is stacking up on anyone who can provide services for them, in terms of media services. AT&T has the indie movie program. I was doing film festival in New York. I can't remember which one. we got to go watch a movie screening because AT&T has partnered with a bunch of indie developers so that as an AT&T customer on Uverse, which will also transcribe to Direct TV, you can watch indie movies before it hits the theaters. Before it actually hits the theaters, you watch an AT&T. So getting services is what they know they need to do because they can't necessarily compete with price like T-Mobile and Sprint, but you can pack in a lot more for customers to feel.
Well, interesting thing from Verizon going back into me. This is actually them going back into media because they were heavily in this before.
Right, back in the flip phone days, yeah.
Back in EVDO, and they were pushing their TV service across there, which shockingly was actually really good. And I was
really good content on there too.
And I was really disappointed that they didn't continue using that because I thought that's what they were going to leverage LTE with that same media service. Because now we would be able to get much higher quality content through there, but they just kind of went away from that, and it looks like they're coming back around.
Yes, Comcast is coming out with its TV app. It will be available on Samsung TVs first. They said by the end of the year, no word yet on when that's actually going to drop. But you'll be able to use that as your cable box. So
I actually think they have their app in the Amazon App Store, which I think it can work on the Fire TV. From what I've heard, I think it.
Well, I think the new law says any new device that has, I think, over 1 million users from prior year can now be used. Instead of mandating that they open up their signal to all providers or anyone making a cable box. If you have a cable-ready device that can provide your video and it's over 1 million, I think that's the number, don't quote me on that, then they have to basically build services.
I just wrote a book based on what Sam just said and quoted him as the author.
The author.
Yeah, 1 million devices. But yeah,
hard line. This is the truth. Sam said so.
Yeah. So basically, that's that's how I think a lot of people see that, and it would be nice to have it'd be nice to now have Comcast and all these services because. Yeah, I mean, I still want to watch Patriots games, and sometimes I can't do that with all this weird NFL packages left and right all over the place.
Oh, that's still going to exist. That's not going to avoid that. They might be able to reach more people, but they're still going to have those licensing deals that are going to cause really ridiculous issues. And that to me frustrates me more than anything else. And that the problem is that's at that Sunday ticket with Direct TV because Direct TV pays them so much money
for that.
For the NFL to do that, even though the NFL's probably, I hope, at some point looking at themselves and saying we need to get more like the NBA and the NHL and NBL.
They've done some crippling on it. For instance, with Direct TV package. If you buy the phone package, you cannot watch it on your TV with the Xbox. If you buy the Xbox, you cannot watch it on your phone. You have to go to the third package that combines both, which costs you more money. Then here's the other thing. If you're using the Comcast app to just watch streaming online TV with Comcast, if it's on your phone, you cannot screencast to your TV. It will block just specifically for the NFL. I tried it this weekend and I was like, ready to watch the game. Cannot view program due to licensing agreement. Then I switched channel to something else. I could cast it to my TV, and I'm like, why?
Yeah, it's in the end of the day, they need to look at. NFL needs to do what all the other sports media did. Go to MLBadvanced.com and say, create us a network, handle the video, tell us how to do this, create the portal, and we'll and tell us how much we need to charge for it. I mean, that's what MLB does, and they do a great job because you can buy games anywhere. You can buy your team and watch them wherever you are. The NBA League Pass uses very similar technology. NHL, I believe, actually uses MLB Advanced Network. And if you even want to get into sports entertainment, that's what WWE Network is based on. That entire thing is ran by MLB Advanced. And
that is how baseball is making its extra money.
Oh yeah, they created it. It's its own separate company, but that's essentially what they did. And it does help. They have 162 games and charge $10 a beer, so they have plenty of money that way. But that to me is where the NFL needs to look and say to themselves, how can we make more money here? And then do we lock this direct ticket thing in, or do we allow people to buy the teams, to invest directly in the teams they want to watch? Because they could even break it, because it can be broken down into, I just want to watch one specific team and not have to necessarily get the other teams' games.
Yeah.
And to me, that's not all of a sudden going to stop, people from watching the games that come on the TV within the market. That's the thing that they're concerned about. They're concerned about who watches what in what market, because that even happens even with the NBA, even with if you have Comcast, let's say your local sports team like the Celtics. I can actually stream Celtics games as long as I am within the New England area. But as soon as I kind of peek out to a certain point in Connecticut for whatever reason, it actually starts to say, well, you're not in the licensed area to watch the game, so we can't do this here. And that's something that just flat out needs to stop. They let people watch the teams they want to watch. It's not all of a sudden means they're not going to go to live games. And that doesn't all of a sudden that means that everybody in said random city in California, in Utah, all of a sudden become Patriots fans or something like that. That's not all of a sudden going to happen. Or like a better example, it's not like everybody all of a sudden in LA who just got the Rams. Well, the Patriots are, and they're the better teams, are all of a sudden going to become that. That's not the case. If anything, some of these people might actually buy 2 or 3 more different teams and watch multiple teams at the same time. So they might say, hey, I like my team's the 49ers, but I also like watching the Patriots, and I don't get to see them that often, so I want to watch them. I also like watching, for whatever reason, the Jacksonville Jaguars. Oh, I get to go by and watch that team or something like that. And you can sell it individually out. But it's something that they're making a huge missed opportunity on, and creating multiple baskets off of just one person that wants to watch multiple teams whenever they want to watch it. And
yeah, I mean, it is definitely true. I mean, we have some commenters who are saying the same thing, that they can't even use the Verizon app to stream their games, but they can watch it on Twitter. So that's Thursday night.
Well, that's only the Thursday game that actually works. That works for.
So
that's because nobody watches that damn game unless they have NFL Network. No, they have NFL Network. Or it becomes
a big conundrum. But anyway, guys, I think that's pretty much it. We've covered a bunch of topics this week. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Appreciate it. Now we get to that point of the show where we ask what we have currently on the channel and what we can expect next week. And we'll start off with the man who always says stuff, Mr. Warren Bowman.
Mm-hmm.
You.
Why do I start off with me? Don't you start off with Juan, then come to me, and then go to Sam, and Sam tells you that
that was just that 1 week.
Then Sam just tells you he has everything from last week and then this week, and then that's it. And then you ran off something, and we just leave.
Okay, thanks for summarizing.
Warren Bowman.
Yes, but
okay. What do we have on the channel now? We have a few videos. We have the LG V20, our unboxing and first impressions of that. Pre-release hardware that we have to say with the LG V20. We have some PS4 content. Tons of that. We got the PS4 Slim unboxing, the PS4 Slim walkthrough setup of the OS, and then actually how to upgrade your hard drive. And the PS4 Slim's also up. Also, I think it just posted a video on topic we didn't talk about, but the whole YouTube Heroes thing and how you can kind of control your closed captioning, which I think a lot of content creators are not aware of, that you can do to kind of control some things. And depending on your content, it isn't necessarily. I think a lot of what's in there doesn't necessarily affect us directly in here, but could affect a lot of other YouTubers that have other different subjects that they talk about. So there's a way to sort of control that within there. And then coming up next week, it will be stuff.
All righty. Now, Mr. Juan Carlos Bagnell from Pocket Now. What can we expect from you, and also what's on the channel currently?
Well, actually, just to piggyback on what Warren was talking about, for anyone who's still watching this, definitely read up on that YouTube Heroes thing, because it sounds like a terrible idea. And it sounds, again, like Google's attempt at getting people to
moderate
their job for free, Reddit style. And it's not the way that we really want to be policing content, especially when YouTube is already terrible at handling disputes. So what we need to see is a revised dispute system, not more moderators in the mix for policing content.
Well, I think there isn't any official ones just yet. I think there's I think because YouTube doesn't necessarily communicate messages very clearly, that the overreaction is happening the way it has it happen. But I think there is, if people took a couple days to actually think about it, there's actually a little bit more to that could actually work itself out a lot better, or not be as damaging as we think it is. This reminds me of our instant reaction of this. Reminds me a lot of how everyone instantly reacted to YouTube Red, and we acted like it was the end of YouTube, and then we found out that it was minuscule at best at anything that it really actually affected, and something.
Well, I think it was minuscule change because of so few people who actually signed up for YouTube Red. No, I mean, like, you're right. I mean, cooler heads should prevail, and we should wait and see what this brings. But anytime we see community-driven moderating efforts, they're easily corrupted. They're quickly corrupted. There are issues with Wikipedia. There are issues with Reddit over
this is also how
users power over what content is displayed on a service, and this is not how I want YouTube to be run when we have very clear problems with things like copyright disputes. If Google needs to address anything, it's how monetization happens when people start claiming copyright on videos. You know, so there's no dispute process when someone engages in some really crappy behavior there, and the smaller producers end up getting hosed to the benefit of the larger producers. And I don't see anything in YouTube Heroes which addresses that. In fact, it could potentially give even more power to people who would be more apt to abuse it.
Yeah, he sounds so crisp now. You sound good.
See, I've done nothing. I've changed nothing.
It's okay.
I don't know what's going on.
Let us know what's on the channel now and what we can expect.
Oh, so much iPhone. I'm so tired of talking about iPhone. We put out our real camera review, so the iPhone 7 Plus, and to that same token, the iPhone 7 now, the core photography experience is pretty similar. So both phones are sort of lumped into one mega review. It's 13 minutes of photo and UHD video samples, so you can see what you like, what you don't like about the new iPhone 7 cameras. And then probably this afternoon, I'll have my iPhone 7 review out. And then I don't know, for the rest of the week, I've got to take a break and play with something else that's not Apple. But you'll see some other stuff for sure. I'll borrow Warren. You'll see stuff.
All right, cool. Sam.
Don't even ask. Let's move on.
everything that I said last week. And
I'm trying to change the comment, so I'm going to say, don't ask. Move on.
That was a great comment. It's like my stuff thing.
I'll tell you this. Sam on Tuesday will be dropping his Gear Fit 2 review on Tuesday.
You know why?
You heard it here first, folks.
Because it's going to happen.
Allegedly.
The actual funny thing is I just have to do one last video on this stuff. I already started doing like a few videos on it. I just haven't had time to put things together. Actually, I'm very impressed with it, but I'll give you guys just.
It is an impressive device.
Yeah. All right. Generally on our end, we have the iPhone stuff. Alex dropped his review. More tamed and balanced, as you guys probably can see. You know, he acknowledged how you all hosed him in the comment section. So he has the iPhone review up. We also did a dub of his 24-hour impressions. We got a look at the Yoga Book from Lenovo and how that's really cool and interesting device that Lenovo is going to be putting out. As well as also a review of the Samsung KS9800. It's a 4K HDR TV. Definitely check it out if you're looking for HDR content and looking to pick up a HDR TV there. PS4 stuff. We have, of course, our comparisons with the Xbox as well as the original PS4, and also how to upgrade your hard drive. And then this afternoon, I'll be dropping the review of Forza 3 Horizons, which is the new Forza game coming out today. You'll see my full review on that. This is, what do you call it again? Is it off on camera? I'm not actually, I'm actually
capturing.
No, I'm not screen capturing it, so which would be on camera, right? Oh, is that what you call it? I can't remember. Is it on or off camera? That would be on camera.
Are you going to be in there or not?
No, I'm just saying the capture.
So you will be off camera.
Not me. Never mind. Anyway.
Is that coming? Is that coming
No,
on
we could
to
go with
you?
that. We could go with that conversation back and forth. So the TV.
Is that on Booredatwork.com or the
It'll
Board
be on
Gamers?
No, it'll be on Booredatwork. I'll put it on Booredatwork just because I wanted to showcase the game with HDR on and all that stuff. So definitely check that out. And then of course Sam will have, of course, like he said, he promised you the Gear Fit 2 review.
Gear Fit 2 review.
Allegedly.
All right, real quick, two things real quick. So the Chromecast, the newer Chromecast, still only does 1080p output, but they added 5 gigahertz radio support for Wi-Fi. That was the major change. And Ivan is keeping us posted on the soccer match that Arsenal is up 3-0 over Chelsea right now.
Wait, yes. Sorry, I just had to.
And I think with that we gotta be out.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's the league that everybody just with the most points wins. They don't actually like play it off. Just decide to champion.
Isn't it that like most games?
I'm talking about how you win.
No, but it's just like, oh well, why'd you lose the game, coach? Well, you just got to get out there and score more points than the other team, and you're like, well, yeah, that's the game, but.
I was saying it's the league that doesn't have like the playoffs.
Yeah.
Boring.
Whatever. It's it's bigger than almost all the leagues here in the US, so it doesn't matter. Anyway, guys,
doesn't
thank
have a real
you.
champion, but hey.
Thank you. Really?
We got to
wow. Anyway, guys, definitely check out all the channels. Skip Warren because he doesn't know anything about sports. I'm just joking. Check out BW1.com on YouTube.
Football. They have that old college football bullshit point system, which I don't acknowledge it. Is it legit?
And oh God. And check out Mr. Juan Bagnell on Pocket Now as well as Some Gadget Guy on Twitter. And of course, Sam, aka Black Iron _man on Twitter. And myself, it's all Booredatwork on Twitter. Thank you very much, guys. And always enjoy your entertainment.
Bam.